Hello fans, I'm the PC Expert Amateur. We're going to take a look at the NZXT F120 RGB Duo, which is almost identical to the F120 RGB, except, as the name implies, it's got a ring on both sides. Let me show you. Okay, so as you can see, there's a ring here, and then there's a ring on the other side as well. So if you are one of those people who feel like, I've got to have lights on both sides of my fan so I don't stress out and so it looks the way I want it to look and I don't have to do this, that, and the other thing, like getting reverse fans or whatever, this is an option. Now, there are some downsides to this, and I've already explained this in the F120 RGB review, but you will need an NZXT hub that is made for these fans, because while it does use a standard PWM connector, it also uses the NZXT ARGB 4-pin connector, which does not work by plugging it into ARGB, because, 3-pin, 4-pin, not the same thing. Also, you will not be able to use Open RGB unless they have updated that. I don't think you can use Signal RGB as well. You will have to use NZXT Cam. I tried using my Asus Aura. It does not respond to that either. So it's aggravating. Now, whether you like the hub or not is largely dependent on how you feel about having the hub plugged into your USB port versus a USB 2.0 9-pin header on your motherboard. Because the hub that I have for this fan plugs into the motherboard, not into a USB port. So it's a USB header, USB 2.0. So if your motherboard doesn't have USB 2.0, you'll need to get an adapter if there is, like, say, USB 3.0 or USB 1. You can get an adapter, I suppose, to convert that into USB 2 so that you can then plug it in so that you can then use the NZXT Cam software to control the lights of your fan. To me, this is not okay. I do not like being corralled and roped into one tiny little ecosystem of sometimes overpriced fans and other objects from their catalog. Yes, I'm ranting, but I do not like it. I do not like green NZXT and Cam. I do not like it, Sam. I am. All right. Let me go ahead and plug this into the hub so that you can see. And you can, if you want to see the full color offerings from NZXT Cam, please, look it up, or you can go to my F120 RGB review in which I show you the different options that are available and what they kind of look like. There aren't really a lot of options. 4 or 5 of them are just for audio that's coming through your system. And then there are 3 others, I think. Yeah, white, blue, and purple that are just a static color. And then there's red alert that alternates between red and white, and one or 2 others. So there's not that much variety. However, you can individually assign colors to the I think it's 20. On this fan, it's 20 LEDs. On the RGB, it's 18 LEDs. 20 per side, that is. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so this is currently set to the NZXT purple color. Now, I love purple. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to sit there looking at a flashing purple. Nor am I going to be like, I can play with NZXT Cam and I can change the brightness. Wait a second. Oh my God. The brightness is, it's changing, but it's hard to see it on my screen. And I can do, let's see, my favorite is just using Spectrum Wave. But yeah, so I can speed it up. I can slow it down. I can change the direction. I can do each fan individually. I can do each fan, all fans collectively, or this only does 3 fans on the hub that I've got. I don't know if they have a hub that has more fans. I haven't really looked because I'm not really interested in being in this because they're locking us into this. So I don't recommend NZXT proprietary stuff, but hey, you do you. And of course, if you buy non-proprietary stuff, you can always plug it into your motherboard. You don't have to get NZXT LEDs ecosystem. So now let's go ahead and pay attention to the sound. Okay, so this does have not much tolerance for the voltage below the starting voltage. Starts out with a low hum. This one's kind of noisy compared to the RGB. But then again, if I remember correctly, this one is also stronger than the RGB. But let me look here. No, according to this, it's weaker. But all right, let's go ahead and do my little hand evaluation here. It's supposed to be 2.4. I'm feeling it down here. I mean, where I'm feeling it is right on the peripheries of the air column or cone. So it's not 2.4. As you can see, my hand is like at 1. So this is again a question of how to measure the actual static pressure across the entire cross section of the cone, and I don't have an answer for that. I was just thinking about it. I wouldn't have any idea how to build what I was thinking about because I'm not an engineer. I don't know how to design things. I'm not good at mathematics, and I don't have enough of a background in circuitry not even circuitry, but just components to be able to do it. But basically, there would have to be some kind of system of measurement that captures measurements from across the entire air cone or airflow cone instead of taking the whole thing, clamping it onto a surface that captures all of the airflow, which is not going to be representative of how it's flowing through your air cooler or flowing through your radiator or flowing through your dust filter. It's because like this fan and many, many other fans that I've seen, it's unequally distributed as far as the static pressure is concerned. But yeah, anybody has any knowledge on measuring across the entire air cone, if there is an actual device for that, that would be some really cool information to share with everybody, if you don't mind. And let's go ahead and say that for now, I would use this on an air cooler or on a case. I wouldn't use it on a water cooler simply because of, and again, but there are a lot of other fans that are like this, where there's a significant amount of pressure available, but it's not equally distributed across the whole thing. But in this case, both with the RGB and the RGB Duo, I'm not feeling the amount of static pressure they're claiming. So maybe it's more equally distributed and you get an overall measurement that's higher. but what I'm feeling is closer to 1.5 on these fans. Let's take a look at the specs.
Okay, so I didn't buy this. This was given to me by NZXT because of the one fan from the RGB pack that was damaged. Both of these fans are expensive. Now, I paid like $12 because I got open box per fan, that is. But normally it's like $30-$40 per fan for the RGB and RGB Duo. So it's insanely overpriced in my opinion. I don't really see the point in buying it because it just is not that good of a fan. And it's got the proprietary RGB connector. Certified UKCA, FCC, CE, ROHS, Underwriter Laboratories, and 2 Asian certifications, made in China. 120 by 25 RPMs, millimeters. Sorry. 60,000 hours, 2 years warranty. 20 ARGB LEDs. NZXT Cam is the only thing that I'm aware of that you can use to run it. The LEDs. 175 grams, 7 blades, 105 millimeters between the mounting holes, 500 to 1800 RPMs with a variance of plus or minus 180 RPMs, 48.58 CFMs of airflow, 2.42 millimeters of water of static pressure, 29 decibels of noise, 61 centimeter fan cable that's not daisy chainable or sleeved, also a 60 centimeter LED cable that's not daisy chainable or sleeved. It's got a PWM and NZXT ARGB connector and fluid dynamic bearings, 12 volts, 1.56 watts, 0.13 amps. So at least it's not as power consumptive as the regular RGB one, which is weird because it has 2 rings instead of 1, but maybe the ring is just powered by those 20 LEDs. Maybe there aren't another 20 on the other side. As with the RGB Duo does not indicate for the LEDs what the wattage and amperage are. Now, there are no indicators of rotation and flow, but it turns in a clockwise direction, comes with 4 screws, and does have corner cushions. You will need a proprietary NZXT hub to run these fans unless you want to modify them.
Thank you to Grindler, aka Lawrence Abrams, who is the owner of Bleeping Computer, for consenting to allow me to put my results in text form on Bleeping Computer's forums, as well as linking to my videos. Please visit Bleeping Computer, support them, make use of them. They're a valuable resource that's been around for 20 years, and they deserve support. They have lots of resources. You can learn about cybersecurity from them. You can get help with malware on your computer. You can get help with all kinds of stuff. They have a range of volunteers who help people who come there for advice, and they're very knowledgeable people for the most part, and some of them are very, very, very helpful. Old Sod has been very helpful to me over the years that I have asked for input on things, and so thank you to Bleeping Computer. Thank you to the volunteers on Bleeping Computer. Also, thank you to my peers on other tech forums who are so kind as to provide me with input, suggestions, feedback, and so on. I really appreciate it, but my greatest thanks goes out to Bleeping Computer because you are my text home, I guess you could say. All right, thanks also to all my viewers and subscribers. Appreciate you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. Have a great day.